This is Victor from the Modern Gaffa, and we are sitting down today with Jeff Nimoy.
Hello.
He is the writer, director, and star of Digimon Seasons 1, 2, and 5, and Digimon the Movie. And this year, he came back to reprise his role as Tentomon in Digimon Adventure Tri, which you can pre-order right now. It comes out in next month.
Does it?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that?
Tentomon is not, privy to all that information.
Yeah.
I should have looked it up on the computer.
So, Jeff, first of all, what is it like coming back to Digimon after, almost 10 years since Season 5 ended?
Well, it's great. I mean, they did not ask me to write and direct, which is what I used to do for the show. So I'm just an actor on this one. So it's kind of like stress-free. First of all, you just show up and, do your lines and go home and get paid. Whereas before, obviously there was a lot of work involved. But that's also what I do. So it's bittersweet in that sense because I don't like anyone doing Digimon without me. They did seasons 2 and 3 without me, and it left such a bitter taste in my mouth that I did come back for season 5. In fact, I turned down Naruto after I did season 1 of Naruto as director, and I turned it down to go back to Digimon. Digimon only lasted another 50 episodes for me, and Naruto went on 10 years.
I think it's still going.
Yeah, so it wasn't a good financial move for me. But I love Digimon. I'm always happy to be back with Digimon. I'm glad it's still going on too, But it's funny, I showed up to do my first session, and the director didn't really know exactly. He knew I was involved before, didn't know exactly how much I was involved. So he said, I think this line, I'm not sure if we're having them do Tentomon, Digivolve 2 Kabuterimon, or if we're doing Tentomon Digivolve 2 Kabuterimon. I said, I got this. So I do it, and he's like, are you sure that's the way they do it? I go, yeah, I'm sure. I used to tell everybody how to do it. I know how to do it. So it was a lot of fun. So the first time, and I went, Tentomon Digivolve 2! And then he cuts. And I what did you cut for?
Digimon Adventure Tri was announced summer 2014.
Right.
The dubbing started end of 2016. Blu-ray's coming out now in 2017. In the time leading up to it, you were not aware of who was doing it, if Saban was doing it, if somebody else was involved. You were convinced you were never coming back.
Correct.
What was it like leading up to the moment where you found out, like, oh, Digimon's never coming back, they're never going to have me, oh, they want me to come in?
Yeah, well, a lot of people were asking me, because I'm like Mr. Digimon, fans were writing me almost on a daily basis. Are you coming back? Are you coming back? Would you be open to coming back? And I kept saying the same thing. If asked, I will serve, And, if Digimon will ask me to work on it, I will say yes, period. But time kept going, and no one was asking. And they had replaced me once before. At the end of season 2, I left Digimon with, as the writer-director with about 4 episodes to go, and things were so cantankerous at that time, they decided not to have me do Tentomon even for those 4 episodes.
He has
So
like
they-
2 lines, and they're very weird.
Yeah, well, they replaced me with R. Martin Klein, Bob Klein, who I saw afterwards, and he was very apologetic. He said, Jeff, I'm sorry. They asked me to do it. I'm an actor. I have to do it, I said, Bob, it's okay. I wasn't even the original Tentomon. I took over the role for Josh Seth, because Josh had so many roles at the beginning of Digimon that everything started to sound like Josh Seth. So they took away a few roles of his, and they gave them to me.
Did they just redub him, or is it like him for a few episodes?
I think it's him for a few episodes, yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah, I think in the very first time you see Tentomon, it's Joshua Seth. So I was impersonating him at the beginning, and he was doing something that sounded like this a little bit. And eventually, as I was doing the role impersonating him, it eventually came to around here, and I settled in to around here.
So speaking of Tentomon,
Yeah.
you have said in the years leading up to this new movie that even if you don't come back to write and direct, you just want to be involved in some way, mainly voicing Tentomon.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's sort of almost like you know, like a child of mine, you know what I mean? And you don't want to see someone else play a role you semi-made famous, you know? And even just as a writer-director, I didn't want to see the franchise leave me. But, you know, people have their reasons why they didn't. It could have been financial, it could have been personal. You don't know these things because you're not in those meetings.
Right.
So, you know, unless they asked me and I actually had physical conversations with them. But no one asked me. So that's why I kept thinking, this isn't going to happen. And the fans keep asking, and I have no answers for them. And then people were telling me they auditioned for it. And I wasn't auditioning for anything. So I was like, well, that's that. They're definitely not having me back. So I kept saying to the fans, don't get your hopes up, don't get your hopes up. And then I heard from like people that were like regulars that they had to re-audition for their own roles. Like my buddy Doug Erholtz had to re-audition for his own role of TK.
Which he didn't get.
Which he did not get, because to them, he sounded too old now, 15 years later. So, but he did, I think, get a nice part.
He plays Daigo, so
Okay,
he's still
good.
a mainer character.
Good for him, because he was a major part of Digimon, obviously, a good buddy of mine. So, but no one was asking me to audition. And then one day, out of the blue, I get a call. Would you like to play Tentomon? I'm like, I certainly would, thank you.
Is that how you answered it?
No.
So you didn't have to audition for Tentomon?
Did
though?
not have to audition, yeah, which was a nice little gift.
So you've done 3 sessions,
I
you
think I
said.
did 3.
Do you know like where, like is it just, because
Yeah.
Shout has signed the deal to do the first 3 movies. Do you have any idea like where in the story?
That
they were?
sounds like a distributor to me, I don't know. The same company where I did Digimon Data Squad?
Yeah.
Studiopolis?
Studiopolis.
That's the same company that called me. And that's really all I know. I don't know if it's Disney or Saban or anything like that.
From what we, the fandom, have gathered, it's just Toei.
Okay.
Like Toei's just doing it themselves, because Saban has really been, not anti-Digimon,
Yeah.
but like they've just not really been involved with Digimon the past few years,
Right.
and Toei just wanted it out. It's a bit more mature and kind of teenagery than Saban usually goes for, so,
Now you say Toei,
yes.
I've always said toy,
Oh,
but that's what I've been told.
I've heard people say Tui, I've heard it all.
Okay.
I've heard it a million ways.
We always called it toy
Oh.
animation. And speaking of them, when I did my first session, no one gave me any like NDA to sign, which is
Right.
a non-disclosure agreement, which is like hush hush, keep this quiet until it happens. And so I just wrote, hey, I just did my first session on Digimon Try. Great to play Tentomon again. And I broke the internet.
Yeah, the fandom freaked out,
Yeah,
because you
broke-
basically leaked it.
Yeah. And Toy Animation was all pissed off at me, and Studiopolis. They were like, what are you doing? It's standard, you don't talk about it. I'm like, oh, it can't be that standard. I've been in the business 25 years. No one told me. So, and you know, in the end, all I did was promote their show. So I don't know what they were so upset about.
I guess they wanted 2 days later, they rushed out a press release. So
Yeah,
they-
meanwhile, because I did that, by the way, Joshua Seth saw it on Facebook, wrote me and said, hey, are they doing Digimon? And I was like, yeah. Nobody told me. And I was like, well, you're sort of out of the business. Josh became like a very successful hypnotist. And he has this hypnotist act that he tours with. And I said, well, you're sort of out of the business. He said, I'll do it. I'll do Digimon. And I said, well, here's the number. Here, call this producer and blah, blah, blah. And he called, and they said, yeah, you want to be on Digimon? Sure. Come, we'll gladly take you. So because I leaked it, they now have Joshua Seth to play Tai. So you're welcome.
Is this information superhighway have a rest stop? I've got to go potty. You should have gone before we left. Just hold it.
So Jeff, one last big question.
Yeah.
We're approaching, technically right now it's the 20th anniversary of the franchise, but the anime series starts, that's 20th anniversary is in 2 years.
Yeah.
You've almost been with this for 20 years. How does it feel
I
after
feel old.
20 years?
I feel old.
We feel old.
It's very odd coming to these conventions and having adults come to me and say, I loved Digimon when I was a kid. And I'm like, how is that possible? But yeah, it's 20 years ago. So 30-year-olds are coming up to me now and saying, I love Digimon. I'm like, oh my God, that must make me 32. No, it's great that it's had this kind of longevity. We didn't even know, when I first saw Digimon, this was before it aired before it was written, before it was directed. They offered me the scripts, right, to write, be one of the original writers.
Wow.
And they sent us the video of the Japanese episode 1. And my partner at the time, Bob Buckle, was working throughout the whole season, whole franchise except for odd seasons 1, 2, and the movie. We watched it and we were like, I don't get it. Who's going to watch this? And we turned it down.
Huh.
And then things started happening and we sort of had a lull in our projects. We finished one project. We dubbed Run Lola Run, which is a very famous German film.
Huh.
And Wendy Lee, who played TK, was the original Digimon director. She played Lola. I played her boyfriend. And Bob directed. Anyway, we had a lull. Run Lola Run ended. And we were like, we probably got 6 months till our next job. Maybe we should write a Digimon. And we called back, the producer and said, we'll take one script. Let's see how it goes. We wrote episode 14 was the first one. A New Continent, I think.
Departure for a New Continent.
Departure
They build
for
a
New-
raft and go in the ocean.
There you go, whale mine shows
Yeah.
up, yeah. And so we wrote it and we were like, that's pretty good. It's kind of funny and, a lot of room for humor, for our style. And it was exactly what they wanted. They wanted, not the original script. And they wanted something a little more Americanized. And they're like, this is what we've been trying to do. The other writers haven't captured it the way you guys captured it. And so they said, could you write another script right away? And we're like, yeah, we had a lot of fun. So they gave us episode 60. And before you knew it, we were writing almost every episode. And then there was a regime change. Producer Rita Acosta at the time, now Rita Acosta Magica, she got promoted. And then Terry O'Malley got promoted to producer. And she decided she wanted myself and Bob to run the show. And that's when we directed every episode and wrote every episode after that. So, but still, even then, we could not predict that it would become popular or people were watching. But the ratings did jump as soon as our episode started to air. So I don't know if it's coincidence. It could absolutely been coincidence that it's just the way the audience gathered to it or not. But I'm kind of proud of that. And the ratings tanked a little bit when I left, so I'm not saying it's because of me. But I'd like to think, my ego would like to think it is because of me. But you never know that kind of stuff like that. There are shows that I've written and directed that nobody watched. Digimon Data Squad, which was Digimon Sabers, nobody has seen.
I didn't know it ever even aired. I just thought it was DVDs.
Yeah, it was on Disney XD. Everyone I talked to, no one has seen it. It's my favorite thing I've ever worked on, but no one's seen it.
It's great.
Thanks.
You did a great job in that
I
one.
appreciate it. That's my favorite.
Never surrender, never be outdone. 'Cause the challenge ain't over. We've only just begun. Digimon.
Well, Jeff, thank you for sitting down with us. It was great to finally meet you in person.
Yeah.
Welcome to Pittsburgh, and we hope you have a great weekend.
Thanks very much. Thanks for
All
having
right.
me. Take care, everybody.
Digimon, digital monsters, Digimon. Digimon back again.
When we last spoke, you were in a car accident, weren't you?
Oh my God. Yes, how is that relevant to Digimon?
Well, I just remembered, you were. I was worried, and
Thank you.
And but are you okay now?
Yeah, no, it was great. There was 7 of us in this SUV, and it went over a cliff,
Yeah,
and
terrible.
not a cliff, the side of the road.
Right.
The worst thing was I got a splinter. We were all fine.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Very nice. All right, good. Well, now that we've gotten that out of the way.